Hi besties, so welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new video and welcome to a book recommendation video. I haven't done one in a couple of weeks, so here we are. I have quite a few books that I want to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Make sure to subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos. Yeah, let's start. Just FYI, all of these recommendations are gonna have like some type of fantasy. Like I'm just really into fantasy books right now, like straight up fantasy or like fantasy with romance, all that stuff. But there's gonna be a portion at the end of this video of like books that I want to read, so books that are in my TBR, that I've seen on Book Talk lately or recommended on Book Talk, that give off like fall vibes and all that stuff. So yeah. Okay, first, you guys know that I'm currently reading the Throne of Glass series, so I'm just going to recommend it to you guys because I'm on the third book, and well, this is the second one. I actually don't have the first one in paperback. I have this one on paperback, the third one, but I don't know. Okay, the point is that if you want a fantasy book for this fall and you want like a long ass series, this is gonna be perfect. This has, I believe, 8-9 books. Honestly, they are so easy to read. Like, you're entertained the whole time, and that is one of the reasons why I am really liking the series, is because I am someone that needs to have a book that's gonna like grab my attention, and this one has done that. So what I've read is basically that this entire series is about this girl, Layla, and she is an assassin, and she's like the most well-known assassin out there. And I can't like actually tell you guys anything from book 2 and 3 because I'm gonna spoil the whole thing. But from the first book, it's basically Layla that gets captured and sent to some sort of prison, which is like the worst prison that you could ever imagine. She basically gets out of the prison because she gets the deal from the king, and basically the king wants her to be her assassin. Basically she would be like a personal assassin for the king, but the whole entire first book is basically a competition between different kind of like criminals, but it's honestly very entertaining. Like, I cannot put it down. Now I'm on the third book and so much has happened, you guys, that yeah, if you want like a long ass series, fantasy series, that is gonna be perfect. Okay, next up is one of my most recent reads, and this one is fantasy but with romance. So this is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett and Clair, and I read this because it was part of the like TBR series that I'm doing. I'm basically reading my entire physical TBR, and this was I think the third book that I read, or third book that I read for the series. And I had never read anything by Scarlett Sinclair, and I fell in love with this book. I love the book, I love the characters, I love the story. So this is a Hades and Persephone retelling, but with like a lot of romance. Like, it's a lot of fantasy, but you also get like a human reality. It's really interesting. So it's basically, yeah, the story of how Persephone met Hades, how they fall in love. You get action. It's really cute. I thought it was gonna be like super spicy. I thought it was spicy, but it wasn't like that spicy. Yeah, if you don't like spicy books, I'm not sure you're gonna like this one. But if you do, go ahead. If you want like a fantasy with romance, it was so good. And this is a series, so this is the first book. I am planning on getting the second one and third one, but yeah. Okay, next one that I have here is my most recent read and one of my new favorite books. This is King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. So it's the same author. I am so happy because I found a new favorite author. I love this author so much. Like, I love her writing. I love her stories. So good. Okay, so this book, it's very spicy. Like there are multiple spicy scenes, like a lot of spicy scenes. Just FYI, if you don't like that, I would not suggest reading this book. But don't get me wrong, like the entire story is not revolved around like the romance and spicy scenes. Like, no, there's a whole plot and a whole story, but these spicy scenes just go well with the story. So basically it's about this princess, right? Her name is Isolde. So Isolde's father is basically the king of a kingdom, and she is basically princess, queen to be. She lives in a world where vampires first exist, obviously. Vampires are going through kingdoms and killing like kings and queens, but Isolde's father, instead of fighting the vampire king, what he did is that he proposed a deal between them two. And the thing is that when they meet, the vampire king, which is basically the blood king, his name is Adrian, and he's the like main male character of the story. So the main girl is Isolde, and then the main guy is Adrian. When Isolde's father and Adrian meet, the deal that Adrian strikes for like peace, he is to marry Isolde. So it is an arranged marriage, but there is so much more to it. But yeah, that's the only thing that I'm gonna tell you guys. Just know it's not only about the arranged marriage, there's so much more to it. So keep an open mind, but it's so good. If you want like a spicy fantasy romance book with adventure and all that stuff, that is a perfect choice. Next book that I also recently read is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. So this is another fantasy book, but this is more towards like witches, all that stuff. Yeah, it's basically about witches. And this one is a YA book, so that is for all of you guys who want YA books. So this book is basically about Clara. So Clara is the main female character. She is a girl who goes to a boarding school full of witches, but she has lived basically her entire life in this boarding school, and she is one of the most powerful witches of her century, and she is called a Everwitch. So the boarding school or the school is full of different witches. So they kind of like get categorized by season. So there are different witches for different seasons, like spring, for example. And basically what makes her the most powerful witch is that Everwitches are witches from all seasons. So they have power from all these seasons. So the story is Clara trying to figure out how to use her magic. Basically, Clara has to save the world. And I did like this book. It's a really cute book. The only thing that I did not like really like, it was a little bit repetitive after a few pages, but overall it was a good book and I do recommend it. So if you are looking for a book with witches. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about the books that I'm seeing like all over Book Talk and like actual videos, like you should read these books. Like I've seen these books so freaking much. So let's start with, I have a list on my phone, so let's go through them. The first book that I have seen all over Book Talk, and that is literally on my Amazon cart right now, is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. So I saw this book on Book Talk like a few weeks ago. I saw Amen reading this book and she like loved it so much, and I really trust her opinions. Honestly, like don't even know what the book is about. Let me know in the comments, you guys, if you have read this book. The next book is a book that literally says on the cover like something about Gilmore Girls, and I was like, yes, please and thank you. I'm on that. As Seen on TV. And I don't know if it's a romance, I'm guessing it's a romance. Sorry about me not explaining the books, but I have no Wi-Fi right now. The power just went out filming this video. I had like planned explaining you guys a little bit of the back of the books, like the synopsis, but what I'm gonna do is put the back of the books right here so you guys can read them if you want to read them. The next one is Layla, which you guys are probably like screaming at me through my computer right now, like why haven't you read Layla? I did start this book last year and I stopped reading it because I did not want to read like that kind of book. But you guys always comment on my videos saying that Layla is so freaking good, so I will get to it. Next book is The Inheritance Games, which I know the third book, I think it's, yeah, the third book like recently came out. So if you want like a series with a lot of mystery, kind of like Knives Out, that movie, it's really similar. I just know that people love this series. I did start the first book. I read like maybe 80 pages. I don't know what happened. I think I was in a mood for something else that day and I just stopped reading it. Okay, and lastly, I have two books here. They're also fantasy books. So the first one is called The Liar's Crown. This is the book, and it's by Abigael Owen. I actually received this book as PR. Thank you so much. It's one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen in my life. They literally sent me like a fake tattoo. It's so beautiful though. So, everything about my life is a lie. As a hidden twin princess born second, I have only one purpose: to sacrifice my life for my sister if death comes for her. I've been living under a poor, obscure girl of no standing, slipping into the palace and into the role of the true princess when danger is present. Now the queen is dead and the ageless king Eidolon. So it's basically arranged marriage, but twins. And one of the twins, which is the main character, takes the place of the other twin and marries a king. That seems interesting. Okay. So you guys, this has been like the worst recommendation video ever. I'm so sorry. I feel like it's been very all over the place, but whatever. I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and I got to hang out with you guys for a while. So I am hoping I can get a better recommendation video in a couple of weeks when I have new recommendations for you guys. I hope you subscribe though, but I will see you guys in my next video. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye!